Men over 60, Urologist reveals 5 simple morning habits for rock-solid performance and vitality men. Let's have a frank conversation. Have you noticed changes in the bedroom? A slower response? Less firmness? Maybe even that quiet, nagging worry that your best days are truly behind you? Most men chalk this up to one thing, just getting older. But what if I told you that age is only a small part of the story? What if the real culprit, the one we can actually do something about, is your circulation? This isn't just a theory. A groundbreaking 2021 study from the esteemed Journal of Urology, which analyzed data from over 5,000 men, revealed that specific nutritional markers for blood flow had a 42% stronger correlation with performance than age alone. This reminds me exactly of my patient, Robert. A wonderful 68-year-old man came to my office feeling utterly defeated. His confidence was shattered. But then, a few simple science-backed changes turned everything around for him. Hello, I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the simple, natural addition Robert made to his morning coffee that helped him reclaim his vitality. And I'll show you exactly how you can do it too. If any of this sounds familiar, even a little bit, do me a favor and hit that like button so I know this is resonating. And be sure to subscribe because you are not going to want to miss the simple science I'm about to share. All right, let's dive into the practical science. We're going to begin with that simple, natural addition to your morning coffee that I mentioned. This is the first and perhaps the easiest foundational step you can take. The coffee addition, L-Citrulline. The solution we're talking about, the one Robert added to his daily routine, is a natural amino acid powder. It's called L-Citrulline. You will often hear it mentioned alongside another amino acid, L-Arginine, and for good reason, as they work together. But today our primary focus is on the remarkable power of L-Citrulline. It is simple, it is effective, and it is backed by solid science. But here is the critical mistake I see so many men make. They feel that frustration, that sense of decline, and they go online. They're immediately bombarded with ads for miracle pills with flashy names and vague ingredients. It feels overwhelming and, frankly, a bit like snake oil. So they become skeptical of everything. The other path they see is going to a doctor for an expensive prescription, which can feel like a drastic step and sometimes comes with unwanted side effects. They feel stuck between two extremes. And because of this, they completely overlook the simple, affordable, and effective nutritional approach that lies right in the middle. An approach like L-Citrulline, where a full month's supply can often cost less than $20. It gets missed, and that is a real shame, because it's often the most logical place to start. So why does this work? Why is something so simple, so effective? It all comes down to a crucial gas in your body called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the master regulator of your blood flow. Its primary job is to send a signal to the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels, telling them to relax, to open up. When these vessels relax, more blood can flow through them, easily and efficiently. This is essential for heart health, for brain function, and especially for healthy erectile function. As we age, our body's natural production of nitric oxide begins to decline. This is a key reason why things don't respond the way they used to. L-Citrulline is what we call a precursor. Your body takes L-Citrulline and converts it directly into the raw material it needs to produce more of this vital nitric oxide. You are essentially giving your body the exact fuel it needs to reopen those pathways. And this isn't just a theory. The science is compelling. That key study I mentioned earlier, published in the peer-reviewed Journal of Urology, specifically investigated L-Citrulline. In this double-blind, placebo-controlled study, the gold standard of research, a group of men with mild erectile dysfunction were given L-Citrulline for a month. The results were significant. By the end of the study, half of the men taking L-Citrulline had their erection hardness score improve from a 3, which is considered mild dysfunction, to a 4, which is normal erectile function. This provides powerful clinical evidence that a simple nutritional supplement can create a measurable, real-world improvement in performance. To put it simply, think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. Over the years, those can get a bit stiff, maybe even develop a few kinks. The flow of water becomes weak, a mere trickle. Trying to perform in that state is frustrating and inconsistent. Now, think of nitric oxide as the command that completely unkinks the hose and cranks open the spigot. All the way. L-Citrulline is the raw material that allows your body to give that command. It turns a weak trickle back into a strong, powerful, and reliable flow. It's that fundamental. So, how can you incorporate this into your routine safely and effectively? The application is incredibly simple. For most men, a good starting dose is between 3 to 5 grams of L-Citrulline powder per day. When you look to buy it, search for a pure L-Citrulline or L-Citrulline malate powder, with no unnecessary fillers or sugars. It is virtually tasteless, which is why it's so easy to use. You can simply stir it directly into your morning coffee, a glass of water, or even a pre-workout smoothie. The key here is consistency. This is not a magic pill for one night. It's about raising your baseline. You are supporting your body's circulatory system day after day, and the benefits are cumulative. For my patient Robert, this was his spark. It was the one easy, manageable thing he could commit to every single day. He started stirring it into his coffee, and after a few weeks, he noticed the difference. But he also discovered something wonderful: synergy. He found that the benefits of L-Citrulline felt even more powerful when he started taking a brisk walk every morning. The two things worked together. The L-Citrulline helped open the pathways, and the walking helped improve the engine pumping the blood through them. It's a small tweak combining these simple habits, but it made a world of difference for him, and it absolutely can for you too. Now, if that garden hose analogy just made things click for you, do me a favor and comment the word vitality below. It really helps me know that I'm explaining this science in a way that makes sense. All right, now that we've established the role of L-Citrulline in providing your body with the raw materials for better blood flow, let's build on that. Because a supplement is only a piece of the puzzle. To get lasting, reliable results, we need to support it with a strong foundation. So let's move on to the first, and I believe the most crucial, of these foundational pillars. Foundational pillar number 1, movement. The first pillar is simple: daily movement. And I am not talking about anything complicated or strenuous. I'm talking about a brisk 30-minute walk. That's it. A simple walk. It might sound too good to be true, but I promise you, the science behind this simple act is incredibly profound, especially for men's health and performance as we age. It is one of the most powerful and most overlooked tools we have. But here is where so many men go wrong. And this is a critical mistake I see in my clinic all the time. A man hears the advice, "You need to exercise more," and immediately his mind conjures up images of a crowded, intimidating gym. He thinks of heavy weights, complex machines, and young guys who look like they live there. He thinks about his aching knees or his bad back and feels defeated before he even begins. The biggest mistake is falling into this all-or-nothing trap, thinking that if you can't commit to a grueling, high-intensity workout routine 5 days a week, then there's no point in doing anything at all. This mindset is not only incorrect, it's destructive. It leads to procrastination and ultimately inaction. It completely paralyzes men from taking the one simple step that could make all the difference. That is the mistake. Believing that the solution has to be complicated to be effective. It does not. So why does a simple walk work so well? The mechanism is twofold. First, and most obviously, it directly impacts your circulation. When you walk at a brisk pace, your heart has to work a bit harder to pump blood throughout your body. This sustained increase in heart rate acts like a workout for your entire cardiovascular system. It strengthens your heart muscle and improves the flexibility and health of your blood vessels. This isn't just about preventing heart attacks. It's about improving the efficiency of blood delivery to every single part of your body, including the places that are most critical for strong performance. The second reason is its effect on your hormones. Consistent, moderate exercise like walking has been shown to naturally support healthy testosterone levels while simultaneously reducing levels of the stress hormone, cortisol. As I mentioned earlier, cortisol is a known performance killer, so a daily walk gives you a powerful double benefit. It improves the plumbing and it helps balance the hormones that control the entire system. And this isn't just a nice theory. The scientific proof is overwhelming. The American Heart Association, one of the most respected medical organizations in the world, has consistently published research on this for decades. Their guidelines are crystal clear. They show that as little as 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week dramatically improves cardiovascular health. Now, 150 minutes might sound like a lot, but let's break that down. That's just over 22 minutes a day. 22 minutes. For that small investment of time, research has shown you can significantly lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and boost the health of your entire vascular network, the very system that is 100% responsible for erections. I love to use an analogy to make this simple. Think of your entire circulatory system as a vast network of rivers and streams that run throughout your body. When you live a sedentary life, sitting at a desk or on the couch for hours on end, it's like building hundreds of small little dams made of silt and debris in those rivers. The flow becomes sluggish. It gets blocked. The water can't get where it needs to go with any force or speed. A daily brisk walk is like a controlled, powerful release of water from the main reservoir. It flushes through the entire system. It breaks down those little dams, clears out the debris, and gets the river flowing freely and powerfully once again. It restores the natural, healthy flow your body was designed to have. So, how do you actually put this into practice? How can you incorporate this into your routine safely and effectively? It is incredibly simple. First, find a time that works for you and protect it. For many of my patients, the first thing in the morning is a fantastic choice, as it sets a positive tone for the entire day. Second, get a comfortable, supportive pair of shoes. This is your only required piece of equipment. Third, make it enjoyable. You can listen to a podcast, an audiobook, some of your favorite music, or you can simply enjoy the quiet of the morning. The goal is not to be an athlete. The goal is just to walk. Walk at a pace where you can still hold a conversation, but you can feel your heart rate elevate slightly. That is the sweet spot. And this is where the magic of synergy comes in. When you combine this simple daily movement with the L-Citrulline we discussed earlier, the effect is multiplied. Remember our garden hose analogy? The L-Citrulline is what helps to unkink the hose and open the spigot. The daily walk is what increases the water pressure from the pump itself. When you do both, you get a powerful, unkinked hose connected to a strong, efficient pump. The two work together beautifully. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 here. In this case, it equals 3. They amplify each other, creating a circulatory system that is primed and ready to perform when you need it. All right, let's build on our foundation. We have the L-Citrulline providing the raw materials for blood flow, and we have the daily walk improving the engine that pumps the blood. Now we need to talk about the quality of the fuel you put into that engine every single day. This brings us to the second equally important foundational pillar. Foundational pillar number 2, nutrition. Pillar number 2 is all about what you put on your plate. And please don't let that word, nutrition, intimidate you. We are going to keep this incredibly simple. Specifically, I want to focus on 3 key categories of foods: more dark leafy greens like spinach, more colorful berries, and more healthy fats from excellent sources like salmon or avocados. These aren't exotic, hard-to-find ingredients. They are simple, powerful foods that can have a profound impact on your entire circulatory system and your overall vitality. But before we go any further, we have to address the biggest mistake I see men make when it comes to diet. It's a trap that causes more frustration and failure than anything else. A man decides he wants to get healthier, so he goes online and finds a complex, highly restrictive diet plan. All of a sudden, he has a long list of foods he can't eat. No more steak, no more bread, no more enjoying a beer with friends. He tries his best for a few days, maybe even a week, but he feels miserable. He feels deprived. And eventually, life happens. A family dinner, a stressful day at work, and he falls off the wagon. And the feeling that comes after that is worse than the starting point. It's a feeling of failure. This is the mistake. Believing that to be healthy, you must adopt a punishing diet built on deprivation. The truth is that the approach rarely works long term. The real goal, the sustainable goal, is to simply add the good stuff in, not just focus on taking the bad stuff out. So, why are these specific foods so incredibly effective for men's health? The science here is fascinating. It comes down to two main components: antioxidants and natural nitrates. Dark leafy greens, and especially colorful berries like blueberries, are absolutely packed with powerful antioxidants. These compounds are your body's personal defense force against something called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is essentially a form of biological rust that damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them stiff and less responsive over time. Antioxidants neutralize this damage, protecting your vessels and keeping them flexible. Then you have foods like spinach and beets, which are rich in natural dietary nitrates. When you consume these nitrates, your body has a remarkable ability to convert them into, you guessed it, nitric oxide, the very same gas we are supporting with L-Citrulline. So, these foods provide a secondary, powerful pathway to boost your body's own production of this crucial molecule. And this is not just a fringe health theory. This is backed by decades of robust, mainstream scientific research. Countless studies on what's known as the Mediterranean diet, which is naturally rich in these greens, healthy fats, and fruits, have consistently linked it to better health outcomes. A landmark review published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2019 analyzed data from dozens of studies. The conclusion was undeniable. Men who most closely followed this style of eating had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease, and directly related to our conversation today, a much lower prevalence of erectile dysfunction. This provides powerful, large-scale evidence that the food on your plate has a direct, measurable impact on your performance and vitality. I love to use a very simple analogy to explain this. Think of your blood vessels, all 60,000 miles of them, as the pipes in your house. Now, a diet high in sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats is like pouring grease and sludge down the drain every single day. Over time, that grease builds up. It hardens. It clogs the pipes, narrowing the passage so that water can barely trickle through. This is exactly what those foods do to the delicate lining of your arteries. Now, think of foods like spinach, berries, and salmon. These foods are like a natural, industrial-strength pipe cleaner. The antioxidants scrub away the rust and damage. The healthy omega-3 fats reduce inflammation and keep the pipes from getting brittle. The natural nitrates help the pipes relax and widen. You are not just stopping the damage, you are actively cleaning and maintaining the system to keep everything flowing smoothly and powerfully. So, how do you make this a practical reality in your own life? Again, start simple. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. Here are a few easy ways to begin. In the morning, when you make eggs, just grab a large handful of fresh spinach and wilt it in the pan before you add the eggs. For lunch, make sure your sandwich or salad has a healthy fat, like a few slices of avocado. In the evening, instead of a sugary dessert, have a small bowl of blueberries or strawberries. Just these 3 simple additions will dramatically increase your intake of these vital nutrients. It's all about making small, consistent upgrades to what you're already doing. And this brings us back to the concept of synergy. The food you eat provides the essential building blocks. The vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants that protect the system. The L-Citrulline we add to our coffee enhances the biochemical process of creating nitric oxide. They work hand in hand. The food is like putting high-quality, seasoned logs onto a fire. The L-Citrulline is like using a bellows to stoke the embers and make that fire roar. Each one makes the other more effective. They are a team. I know that changing your diet can feel overwhelming. It truly can, but I hope this simplifies it. If you found that pipe cleaner analogy helpful and it made you see your food choices in a new light, do me a favor and comment the word eye-opener down below. It lets me know that we're turning these complex topics into simple, actionable knowledge. All right, we have put some incredible tools in our toolkit. We have the L-Citrulline to fuel nitric oxide production, the daily walk to strengthen our entire cardiovascular system, and the nutritional upgrades to protect our blood vessels from the inside out. But there is one final piece to this puzzle, and without it, all our other efforts can be seriously undermined. This brings us to our final section, the twin pillars of recovery. Foundational pillars. Number 3 and 4, sleep and stress. Finally, let's talk about the twin pillars of recovery. I group these two because they are deeply interconnected. They are getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night and actively managing their chronic stress levels. Now, I know these topics can sound a bit soft compared to supplements and exercise, but I want to be clear. From a physiological standpoint, sleep and stress management are every bit as critical to your performance, your energy, and your hormonal health as anything else we've discussed today. They are not optional. They are absolute necessities for male vitality. But this is where we encounter one of the most pervasive and damaging mistakes in our modern culture, especially for men. For generations, men have been taught to power through, to grind it out, to work longer hours, sleep less, and wear stress like some kind of twisted badge of honor. We see running on 5 hours of sleep and being constantly stressed as a sign of being productive, of being important. I've had countless male patients in my office who almost brag about how little they sleep. In reality, they are unknowingly sabotaging their own masculinity at its core. This mindset, this belief that you can sacrifice sleep and ignore stress without consequence, is fundamentally wrong. It's like trying to run a high-performance engine while constantly pouring a little bit of sand into the gas tank. Sooner or later, the system is going to break down. So, why are these two factors so critical? Let's start with sleep. Your body doesn't just shut down when you go to sleep. It enters a vital repair and rejuvenation cycle. This is when the magic happens. A significant portion of your daily testosterone production occurs during the deep stages of sleep. If you cut your sleep short, you are directly cutting your primary male hormone production short. It's that simple. Furthermore, sleep is when your body focuses on physical repair, including healing the delicate lining of your blood vessels. It's your body's nightly maintenance crew. Now let's look at the other side of the coin, stress. When you are chronically stressed, from work, finances, or family, your body constantly pumps out a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. While useful in short bursts of legitimate danger, chronically elevated cortisol is a direct enemy of performance. It constricts blood vessels, it can suppress testosterone production, and it puts your entire body in a state of alarm, which is the exact opposite of the relaxed state required for healthy erectile function. And the scientific proof on this is absolutely ironclad. Let's take a sleep. A powerful study published in the prestigious Journal of the American Medical Association looked at the effects of sleep deprivation on healthy young men. These weren't older men who already had issues. In the study, they restricted the participants to just 5 hours of sleep per night for only 1 week. Just 1 week. The results were shocking. After those 7 days, their daytime testosterone levels had plummeted by 10 to 15%. The researchers noted that this was the equivalent of aging them 10 to 15 years in a single week. Now imagine what years, or even decades, of poor sleep do to a man's hormonal health. It's a slow, silent drain on your vitality. I think the best analogy is one we can all relate to in our modern world. Think of your body like your smartphone battery. The food you eat and the exercise you do are like having a really good, high-quality charger. But sleep is the act of actually plugging the phone into the wall. If you only plug it in for a few hours and only charge it to 40% each night, it doesn't matter how good your charger is. The phone is going to be sluggish the next day, and it will die quickly. Now add chronic stress to that. Stress is like having 10 power-hungry apps running in the background, all day long, constantly draining that limited battery life. It's no surprise that by the end of the day, when you need your phone to perform an important function, the screen just goes blank. Your body is no different. So, how do we put this into practice? How do we charge our battery effectively? The key is to create a simple, relaxing, wind-down routine. This signals to your brain and body that it's time to prepare for sleep. About an hour before your intended bedtime, make a conscious decision to turn off the screens. The blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs can interfere with your production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Instead, find a quiet, relaxing activity. You could read a physical book. You could listen to some calm music or a relaxing podcast. Or you could practice a few minutes of simple, deep breathing. Just a 5-minute exercise of inhaling slowly, holding for a moment, and exhaling slowly can significantly lower your cortisol levels and put your body into a state of rest. The goal isn't to force yourself to sleep, it's to create the ideal conditions for sleep to come naturally. And this brings us back to my patient, Robert. This was the final, crucial piece of the puzzle for him. He was doing everything else right. The L-Citrulline, the walking, the better food choices, but he was still a terrible sleeper. He was a classic night owl who would watch the news and scroll on his phone right up until he turned the light out. When we finally implemented a simple wind-down routine, that's when everything clicked into place. He told me, "Doc, it was the strangest thing. When I started sleeping better, I didn't just feel better in the bedroom. I felt better everywhere. He had more energy during the day. He was less irritable. And yes, his performance and confidence saw a dramatic improvement. All of these pillars, they work together as a complete synergistic system. You cannot neglect one and expect the others to pick up all the slack. You need them all. All right, let's bring it all together. We've covered a lot of ground today, but it all comes down to a simple, powerful system. We talked about the science of adding L-Citrulline to your coffee to directly fuel nitric oxide production, and how to supercharge its effects with the foundational pillars of simple movement, smart nutrition, restorative sleep, and active stress management. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. It doesn't create change. So here is your simple 3-step action plan for this week, not next month, this week. First, I want you to go online today and order some L-Citrulline powder. It's affordable, it's easy to find, and having it on your kitchen counter is the first step. Second, pull out your phone right now, open your calendar, and schedule 3 30-minute walks for this week. Treat them like important appointments that you cannot miss. Third, commit to adding just 1 green vegetable to your dinner every single night for the next 7 days. That's it. That's your starting point. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I'm too tired, or I just don't have the time. Let me gently challenge that. That walk will create energy, not take it. And planning these steps takes less than 5 minutes. You do have the time. You absolutely can do this. And listen to me closely on this. This isn't just about reclaiming performance in the bedroom. That's a wonderful benefit, but it's part of something much bigger. This is about reclaiming your confidence. It's about having the stamina to play with your grandkids without getting winded. It's about being the strong, vital, and active man you know you still are. For yourself, and for the people who love and depend on you. Your health is waiting. It's waiting for you to take that first, simple step. So if you found value in this science-based approach today, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future videos. And more importantly, If you are committing to trying even one of these steps, I want you to go to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This is your commitment, not to me, but to yourself. Let's start this journey together and support one another. Thank you for investing your valuable time with me today. In next week's video, we'll be talking about the one common fruit found in every grocery store that can help support healthy blood pressure naturally. You won't want to miss it. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, reminding you that your health is your greatest asset. Fight for it.